In this unit, we'll talk about business ideas, where they come from, as well as some advice on how to generate and evaluate ideas. On completion of this unit, you should be able to identify where most business ideas come from, as well as the elements that are critical for success. The first thing that people often get stuck on when considering entrepreneurship is the big idea. Many people would consider entrepreneurship as an option if only they had a business idea. Others have an idea, or at least a start of an idea, but don't know whether it would work or how to go about determining whether they could make, or at least not lose, money. The first thing that you must consider in evaluating your idea is whether the product or solution you are considering serves an actual need in the market. Put another way, is there a gap between what currently exists in the market and what customers would be willing to pay for? Determining this is the most important priority as you move forward along your entrepreneurial journey. There are a lot of good ideas in the world. The difference between a good idea and a good business idea is that a good business idea will make money. The first key entrepreneurial challenge is to determine if your idea can make money, or in the case of a not-for-profit, at least not lose money, because while you may be a not-for-profit, you are also not for loss. In the previous unit, we discussed in detail the cognitive and behavioral skills that enable certain people to be innovative compared to others. But how do innovators identify opportunities? Pattern recognition plays a central role in opportunity identification. When an event or a change in the environment takes place, an innovative person takes note of that, and through his or her knowledge and experience, their alertness and active research, they can perceive patterns in such an event or change in the environment which can lead them to opportunity identification. Consider this example. Mark is an engineer professor with research that focuses on femtosecond lasers. Sally is a PhD student in Mark's photonics lab, and Susan is a secretary in the department. Suzanne was annoyed by all the mosquitoes in her backyard and was talking about getting mosquito repellent that is safe for the skin. This gives Mark and Sally an idea. Why don't they use their femtosecond technology to get rid of all the mosquitoes? The idea seems appealing. They can use their femtosecond technology to eliminate all the mosquitoes. Moreover, they can eliminate any bug, not just mosquitoes. They can start a new company where Mark and Sally become co-founders. There could be a big potential market. Mark and Sally start to think about the potential market for the great invention. They would start Zap Inc., a company dedicated to eliminating mosquitoes. And not only that, it can really get rid of all bugs. The market segment can be huge. There are over 6.4 billion people in the world, and maybe half of them hate bugs, so there are over 3.2 billion potential customers. The idea started appealing to them, and they got excited. But what's wrong with this picture? First, how many of the 3.2 billion people are satisfied with existing technologies, such as bug spray, home remedies, mosquito nets? Equally important, even if they are not satisfied with those solutions, how many people can afford a $1,000 laser to get rid of a bug? Their market extrapolation assumes a $3.2 trillion as a total market estimate. In reality, if you look at the global insect control market, you will find that it is much smaller than that. The first necessary condition of business ideas is that your product or solution must have value to someone, some business, or some organization. We often refer to this as a value proposition and is closely related to what we talked about earlier in that there needs to be a gap in the marketplace or as a pain that someone is willing to pay to have relieved. Your solution must solve this pain, or in other words, provide a value proposition. Mark and Sally's supposed value proposition is using femtosecond lasers to eliminate bugs. Suzanne identified the personal pain, but given the other solutions on the market, is it realistic to assume that the world will beat a path to their door? Is there a gap in the insect control market, or are there other, better, more profitable markets to be identified for femtosecond laser technology? While we mentioned this before, It bears repeating that businesses are meant to make money, or in the case of a not-for-profit, at least not lose money. So the second necessary condition is that the idea put into action must generate more money from sales, revenue, than the costs associated with doing so. This can be estimated by doing a lot of research and turning this research into revenue and cost estimates. We'll talk about this later in this module. In addition, ideas will always evolve over time. The end product or service offering rarely looks exactly what it was originally conceived. Some notable examples include Facebook, which started out as a dating site for Harvard students, or the BlackBerry, which started as an instant messaging device. So our necessary conditions for business ideas include the notions that ideas have a value proposition, must be able to make or not lose money, and the entrepreneur needs to be prepared for the idea to evolve over time. Next, let's look at where business ideas come from. Ideas often start with one or a combination of the following. 1. Personal pain. We often find great inventions and entrepreneurial solutions being born out of necessity or frustration on the part of the inventor or entrepreneur. A great Canadian example is the online web store builder, Shopify. Shopify was born out of the founder's frustration with the combination of web store and e-commerce solutions he was trying to pull together for his online snowboard shop. He soon found greater demand for his self-created online store and e-commerce platform than for his snowboards, and a Canadian success story was born. 2. Market need or gap. While there should always be a gap or need in the marketplace for your product or service, otherwise you won't have a profitable business, we will often see business ideas starting with a clear understanding of the need or gap in the market, rather than looking for the need or gap after an idea is born. For instance, knowing that there are a critical mass of vegans in a city and no vegan-only restaurant options may lead one to opening such a restaurant focused solely on vegan cuisine. 3. Expertise or interest is a place where most ideas start. And this isn't a bad place to start, given that you will need to love what you are doing in order to be successful in business long term. We often see tradespeople, artists, scientists, or restaurateurs starting their businesses because they love their trade, science, or craft and want to do nothing else. 4. Some businesses start as a result of insight or knowledge into where an industry is headed, an understanding of trends in an industry, or demographic shifts. For instance, baby boomers growing older and needing mobility solutions is an example of a potential business started as a result of this knowledge or insight. Regardless of the starting point, ideas can come from anywhere and hopefully satisfy all or most of the conditions we've just listed.